let's do a quick example of exponential functions. Um, so here we have an example, y equals 3 to the x power. So all I'm doing is inputting x values, my x values here that's listed to the left, into that exponent. So you can just type that in the calculator or just do it by hand. It's pretty simple. So here I have y equals 3, and I'm plugging in this x value into the exponent. So I have 3 to the negative third power. So anytime you remember when we covered this last semester, exponential law, when you have a negative exponent, all you got to do is drop that negative sign and put it under 1 as a fraction. So that's how they get 1 and 3/3. So you just solve this. 3 to the third power is 27. So it's 1 over 27. That is my y value. So that means my point will be negative 3 and 1 over 27. Do the same thing for the next number. So I have y is equal to 3, and I have an exponent of negative 2. So again, that would be what? 1 over 3 over 2. So 3, not 3 over 2, 3 squared. So 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. So I have 1 over 9. It's not 8, that's a 9. I'm on my computer. So my point will be negative 2 and 1/9. Okay? And do the same thing for the next point. So just all you have to do is plug in. You don't have to have a calculator for this. Next, I have y is equal to 3 to the negative 1. So again, we rewrite this as a fraction with our exponent positive. So I have 1 over 3 to the first power, which is 3 to the first is just 3 times 1. So anything to the first power is just times 1. So I have 1/3. So my point will be negative 1 and 1/3. Okay. Next, I have my x value of 0. So I have y is equal to 3 to the power of 0. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. Remember that from exponential law. So my y value is 1. So my point is 0, 1, which is this is my y-intercept. So I know this is where my function is crossing the y-axis. X value of 1. So I have y is equal to 3 to the first power. Anything to the first power is 3 times 1, or the number times 1. So this is 3. So I know my y value is 3. So it's going to be 1 and 3. Then I have 2. Y is equal to 3 to the second power. So that's 3 times 3, which is 9. So I have 2 to the 9th. And then lastly, we have an input of 3. So I have y is equal to 3 to the third. 3 to the third is 3 times 3, which is 9 times 3, which is 27. So I have 3 and 27. So those are my points. So now all I have to do now is just input these points into my graph. So the easiest thing to do is start with my y-intercept. So my y-intercept is 0, 1. So I'm going to my x value 0 and my y value is 1. Here's my first point. Okay. So now I go to another point. So let's try this one right here. Do the easy points first. That will help you out. Oops. Do the easy points first. . do these points first. So next I have 1, 3. So 1 to the right and up 3. So my next point is there. I'm trying to do this straight as possible. I'm on my computer and I'm using this mouse and wish I can use my tablet, but right now it's dead. So let's put a point, let's put a dot. Okay. Next I have 2, 9. 2 to the right, 9 up. So I'm here. Okay. Then I have 3. Now this is not on the graph, so I'm not going to touch this one. So let's go this way. So I have -1 and 1/3. So -1 to the left, and then a third is about right here. It's about right there. And then I have -2 and 1/9, which is pretty close to 0. So I'll put it here. So it's about right there. Okay. So now, as you can see, my horizontal asymptote will be 0 because it's not going to touch 0. But I know it's going to be close to 0. So I'm going to draw. So I'm going to draw my line. Let's start here. Draw my line. It's going to be something similar to this. You know, it's not straight, but it's close enough. So it's going to be something similar to this. If you were to put this in the calculator, you will get the same similar graph. Similar graph to this. And there you go.
Okay, for those of y'all who have a calculator, now I do understand mine's a little bit different, but all you have to do if you want to graph exponential functions the same way you did linear functions and quadratics, all thing different is that your exponent is now a variable. So you go to y equals, input the equation. So the equation we had was 3 to the x power. So 3 to the power of x. And you can press graph and you will have your graph. So as you see, it was pretty similar to ours, and we can check by going to our table. So these are the same values we had in our table. Same values.